Hi guys, my name is Cody Schumacher and I'm going to be presenting on the Baroque era of music. So the word Baroque, describing an era in music whose origins date as early as the end of the 16th century, is a word with an original Portuguese or Spanish definition of the rough or imperfect pearl. So the philosophical idea behind the Baroque era of music involved differentiation from the norm, hence the idea of the rough or imperfect pearl. Because of this, many of Baroque's critics emphasized that their individuality in presentation of this differentiation was too much. This is why the term Baroque was first used negatively. In fact, an anonymous critic of an early 18th century opera once described Hippolyte et Aricie negatively as Baroque, meaning out of form, lacking consistency in time, meter, and hook-centered melody. So in spite of what this critic had to say about Baroque, or using it as a negative, it's interesting to note that the Baroque era is actually responsible for adding an element of music that we hear today that gives music more uniformity and consistency than ever before, and that's tonality. And tonality is basically when the harmonic structure and melody of a song is centered around one basic key, and this key is the tonal. It is the tonic key. And I am sitting at a piano and I'm going to demonstrate a couple of these concepts, including tonality and the role it plays in music. So if I play in any given key a series of chords starting with the tonic, and then I go to a different chord, and then a different one, last one, and then if I resolve it back to the tonic, it gives that sound completion. It rests at its home key. So composers like Bach, Handel, Vivaldi, Purcell, and many more were large contributors to the era we now know as Baroque. There were other composers like Monteverdi who contributed their Renaissance aspects to Baroque, creating an entirely different sound. The three concepts I really want to demonstrate using the same chord progression displayed earlier are those of chords, trills, and counterpoint. When you listen, notice the similarities of the sound in the first demonstration. That simple harmony and use of basic blocks of keys were chords. Next, listen to the rapid alternation between two notes. That's a trill. Here's an example. Finally, listen to the lower melody played in the left hand and notice how the emphasis is equally as important as the higher melody. And this is really unique to Baroque because the Baroque's predecessors, like the Renaissance, always placed a higher emphasis on the higher frequency melodies. And finally, listen to the consistency and the amplitude of the two. The higher notes aren't being played much louder than the lower ones. So finally, I just want to note by saying that this is a simple composition. I'm just going to kind of improvise, so excuse any imperfections as I've never had any lessons or anything like that, so just kind of bear with me. Hi guys, so to demonstrate the significance of chords that was introduced by Baroque's home key addition to music that we use today in almost every song that you hear on the radio, I'm going to play one more time that chord progression I explained earlier. So starting from here, then going to the next one, then the next one, then the next one. There are the chords. Now implementing a trill with a melody could be something like this. Now putting that into a demonstration of counterpoint, in addition, you will hear the left hand playing something with equal importance as the top. And again, that last chord is a demonstration of the role that tonality plays in the whole thing. That tonic key is what gives the sound a sense of completion or finality. In conclusion, the Baroque era of music was a very dynamic time frame with an emphasis on uniqueness and individuality. It offered key musical facets that can be observed today, some of them extremely prominent like those of tonality. Some of them, however, like counterpoint, can be observed only in certain songs, while others remain scarce in modern music, like trills. For the reasons mentioned in this presentation, the Baroque era was unique, dynamic, and very influential to modern music.